Is it possible to build an iMac, competitive and fast, all in for under $100? Well, you're about to find out. So, I thought I was done buying iMacs, but now I want to try every year. And I saw an ad for a 2015 iMac for $75, and so we're on the way. So here's the story. I found the iMac, I said for $75 on OfferUp, 2015, and it said there was no hard drive, and that was strange because where did the hard drive go? And we talked more, and she said that she took it in for recovery because it wouldn't boot anymore, and the shop recovered her data, and then they just gave her back the computer because they said they couldn't change the hard drive. So I said, well, would you take $50? And she said no. And then I looked again at the ad, and it had included with it a Magic Keyboard 2 and a Magic Mouse, and I was always looking for a Magic Mouse. So I finally agreed to buy it for $60. She said it would turn on, but it won't boot. And so here it is. When I picked it up, it was in this box. This is actually the new iMac that she bought, but the care that she took to put it in this box, she actually put all the wrapping around the computer and the keyboard and the mouse and everything. So I knew it was coming from a good home. There ended up being a chip in the corner, which I didn't see in the ad, but it was fine. I mean, I knew it was getting it from a good person, so that's cool. So let's see what was inside. Here's what was inside, and there's the Magic Mouse and the Magic Keyboard 2. For some reason, it's kind of yellow. It's supposed to be white. I don't know if maybe it was in the sun or something. Anyway, even if this computer doesn't work properly or the hard drive's bad, it's worth it for $60. The keyboard, I can sell it for $30, $40. The mouse I wanted for myself, and then I could always sell the body. So let's boot it up and see what happens. So here's the first boot. Let's see. No folder, so hard drive bad, possibly. Okay, let's try recovery mode. Now we're starting internet recovery. That's Command R to get to recovery mode when you turn it on. And all right, let's connect to internet and see what happens. So after waiting, I think half an hour, almost an hour, I pulled into the recovery for El Capitan, and it said, where do you want to install the hard drive? And it said there was no hard drive, so that was a little weird. So I went to disk utility here. This is my external, so I don't want to use that. I'm going to try, let's see if we can do, I can see the hard drive here, erase, untitled. Western Digital, which is strange. Let's see if it fails or not. So it says it's done. Let's go ahead and close this. And then we'll go to install. Let's see if it gives me the option here. Restore. So it does give me the option. I wonder if they wiped it, whoever worked on this before. So let's start the install. Although even if it works, I'm not too confident about the health of this drive. So after an eternity, it looks like the El Cap is installing too. Yes, there it is, disk utility. Let's go to here. that's it. It's back. We don't even know the specs. Let's go about this Mac. Let's see. 1.6 Core i5, integrated graphics, 8 gigabytes. So basically the worst one you can get, but it works. I'm happy. It's fine. Let's do some updates, and then we'll be back. So the good news is, because it's a 2015, it supports Monterey, and it's letting me download it from the App Store. So that's an advantage, even though this computer is, well, terrible. But the 14 that I posted earlier was also terrible, but it didn't, I don't know if it did Monterey or not. But we'll do the Monterey, and then once we get into Monterey, then we'll do the testing. But as far as I can see, the 2014 and 15 are basically the same. I'm gonna see if I can find what the differences are. I know there's 2 that I found so far, but once this is done, I'll go over that. I have to do a little more research. Obviously something is different, but for the most part it's the same, 14, 15. But let's do this and we'll be back.
A few moments later.
We're back again, and this is the 2015 iMac, purchased for $60 today in February 2024. And I told you the story, a little bit about it, and I wasn't sure about it because the ad was for a 2015 iMac with no hard drive. And the other videos that I posted the 2012, the 2013 that I didn't get, which ended up giving me the 2012, 2014, which was absolutely garbage, and then the 2017, which I am currently using as my personal computer, as you saw. So that's awesome, right? So then I was like thinking, well, that's kind of the best case scenario. This happens a lot with iMac, so sometimes all you need to do is restore it. So then I did El Capitan, and then I updated it to, let's see, Monterey. So let's check the specs here. 1.6 dual core again, BISEC edition, DDR3, 8 gigabytes, internal graphics. You know, this is like the same story we've been talking about the whole time. But the 2014 could only go up to Big Sur. And so that was my question, was would you get a 2014 versus 2015? 15 is basically the same thing, right? But the Sur is it for 14, Monterey is it for 15. So given the same price, I spent $60 on the 2014, and that could only go up to Big Sur, even though it was slow. And then I paid $60 for this one, and it goes to Monterey. So perfect, right? I mean, if it's gonna be slow, it might as well run newer software, right? But then I noticed something, and this is the wild part about this little experiment. If you recall in the 2014 video, it took 1.5 minutes to boot to the desktop. when I booted this up after installing Monterey, keep in mind I didn't really know the specs yet, but I kind of did. It's the base model. I did the Capitan and then I did the Monterey. When I booted Monterey, it took 50 seconds to boot. And I was like, wait a minute. Why did it boot so fast? So I went here, and I went here, and I'm fully expecting this to be a Hitachi hard drive, and look, it's a Western Digital 100T SSD. And then I went here to Google Western Digital WS100T. It's an SSD. Somebody put an SSD in this, and I had no idea. So we have officially won the lottery on this. I don't know. I mean, I don't think she knows about it. I don't know who did it. She said she bought it brand new, so I don't know who upgraded it at some point, but this is awesome. So now we have a 2015 with an SSD already installed. And all we had to do is reset the software. So we have won the iMac lottery. Anyway, let's compare 14 and 15. So 14, I was curious, I assumed there was not much of a difference. This is the 14, 1.4 dual core, 8 gigabyte. The one that I have has a 1 terabyte hard drive in it. In the previous video, Intel HT's 5000. Pretty much standard. Okay. Then 2015. This one's a 1.6 dual core again. Originally came with a 1 terabyte hard drive and then Intel HD 6000. I don't know what that means. 5000, 6000. It's not even the Iris, it's just this. And the rest seems to be the same. Sierra. Comes with Mavericks. So if we're comparing, hard drive aside, if we're comparing the 2014, 2015 side by side, really not any difference, other than that the 15 will run newer software, which we see the Monterey. So you couldn't do this on the 2014, and again, they look the same, they cost the same, everything's the same. The people selling them obviously don't know the difference between them. So as long as it's cheap enough, just get the newest one you can find. And so this one was $60. I would have put an SSD in here, but luckily for me, hooray, it's already there. So I'm kind of wondering now if I should just keep this one instead of the 2017, because I could probably get a lot for the 2017, but there's a thing with the 17. I think I'll sell this for, let's see, I paid 60. I'm probably gonna try and get like 130 for it, maybe, because it already has the SSD in it and it's perfectly fine now. Not sure what happened with the hard drive, but if you watch the 2017 video, you'll see why I'm probably going to keep that, because it has a Retina display and it has the most awesome feature I've ever seen, which is the automatic brightness. Instead of doing this all the time, it actually does auto brightness for you, and that to me is worth the price of admission. So yeah, this one's up for sale, but I mean it's pretty good. Look at the speed test. Look at that. This would have been like 80, 90 before. That's where I was thinking, like, this is not, definitely not the factory. Somebody must have professionally put the hard drive in, because the screen is not looks disturbed in any way. It's still glued, and look at that read speed, 500. 500 versus the 48 on the 2014, and even my 2017, which has an external SSD, only gets 450. So yeah, this was definitely a good find. So anyway, so if you're looking at 2014 versus 15, all things considered, regardless of specifications, just get the 15 because of the ability to run newer software, and then you can always add the hard drive later. 2014 kind of has no place. 2012 is still good in my opinion if you upgrade it and then you do some other things. So let me know what you think. $60 for this. Was it a good deal?